Hey guys, it's Meridy here, and I am here with our Merry and Bright page kit, and I am going to show you how to put together the double page layout that coordinates with the instructions that come in your kit. So you're going to have a page of instructions in your kit as well as what I'm going to show you right here. So let's go over the embellishments first. You're going to get this set of Vicki Boutin Peppermint Kisses embellishments. It's 50 pieces. I'm going to show you the back. There are just a ton of icons in this embellishment pack, and they're really, really cute. And we don't use nearly all of them on this layout, so I can't wait to make more pages with some of these other embellishments. They're just so cute. The deer, the nutcracker. Oh my gosh, there's so many good ones in here. Okay, and then you're gonna get a set of Sugar Plum Wishes foam letter stickers, and there's 494 pieces in here. So you're gonna have one whole set of the multicolored alphabet, and then one whole set of this red foil alphabet. So there's a lot of alphabet stickers in here. Again, you will have plenty to use for more layouts besides just the one that we're making today. And then you're going to have these 3 little patches, the little crocheted Santa hat and the 2 little birds, because there were so many cute animals in here that I had to include these little birds. And then you're going to get a pack of 10 buttons. They're candy cane striped, red and white striped buttons. And actually, when I designed the kit, I always design the kit first, and then after I get everything, I make the layout. I ended up not even using any of the buttons on the layout. So we're not even going to use these on your layout today. You can, of course, add them in at the end, but I did not, because there is so much on this layout already that when I tried to add the buttons, it was a little bit too busy for me. But maybe if you have less pictures or less busy pictures, you might be able to add in some buttons to this layout. But if not, you'll have them to coordinate with all of these supplies for more layouts that you can make with the scraps. So those are the embellishments. And now let's go over the paper. You're going to get a sheet of the Vicki Boutin Peppermint Kisses 3x4 cards, and a sheet of the Happy Holidays Noel by Pink Fresh, and another Vicki Boutin Peppermint Kisses. This one's called Merry Christmas. The candy canes on the back. And this super cute Paige Evans from her Sugar Plum Wishes Christmas line. It's paper number 2. And then you're gonna get 2 sheets of white cardstock. So in your instructions that came with this that you have is a cutting guide, and it is gonna tell you exactly how to cut all of these papers. So I'm gonna go off camera and cut my papers to the dimensions that are outlined on the instruction sheet, and I will be right back. All right, friends, I have my papers cut, and I'm going to start with the 2 white pieces of paper in the background. Now, there is a little part that is sort of difficult on this layout, if it even matters to you. So let me show you what this is. It may not even matter to you. There is a portion of this layout that goes from one page to the other, and it's this plaid paper, and the patterns don't line up exactly. Okay, so you've got one piece. This paper was cut like this, okay? The bottom comes off. So you've got this piece, and it needs to go on this side, but the patterns don't match exactly, okay? And as you could tell, this isn't the same height as this piece yet. Because what I did to make it sort of match is, see how the main part that matters if it matches is right here. The rest of this is gonna be covered by pictures down here. So my most important part to match is that green, where that green crosses over. So I kind of had to slide the paper under. See how it's not matching up? I have to slide it under a little to make it match up. And as you can see, like this one matches up, this one matches up, but then when we get here, it stops matching up. But this part doesn't matter because it's gonna be covered. So if this matters to you, you're gonna need to line your papers up, and you're gonna need to trim right here on this piece. You're gonna need to trim it right there in the exact right part. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. I'm gonna trim right where I think it should be. And then when you adhere it down, you're gonna wanna trim off this little overhang so that it looks seamless. Do you see what I mean? It looks seamless right there. And it's hard to get this lined up perfectly. So eventually we're gonna trim off a little overhang, but that is what you need to do. And then you'll measure this right here and you're gonna trim a little bit off the bottom. I believe this is 7 inches tall. So you're gonna trim this to 7 inches off the bottom. And again, the bottom portion doesn't really matter. So if this doesn't even matter to you, just trim this page to 7 inches tall, because some of you, that won't even matter to. But just in case it does, I'm showing you how. Next step that we're gonna do is get some green ink and ink the edges. Let me move these papers. We're not gonna use them right now. We're gonna get some green ink and we're gonna ink the edges of these papers, but we're not gonna ink in this middle seam because we don't wanna bring any more attention to this middle seam. We're just gonna ink the outside 3 edges. So the top, we don't even need to worry about inking the bottom. It's not gonna show. So we're just gonna ink the top, down the left side. And this is just so it pops a little on that white paper, see? So if you have green ink, you might want to do this part, but if you don't want to, you can completely skip this part and it is not going to make much of a difference on your layout. Okay. And then we're going to grab a couple more papers that we cut. We're not going to ink the red, green, because it doesn't really need to be. And then we've got these 2 strips of paper. One of them is exactly 1.5 inches. The other one is a little bigger than 1.5 inches. It doesn't matter which one you use, but whichever one you use, cut it in half at 6 inches. Okay. And we're gonna ink this one too, but again, it's gonna go over the seam of 2 pages. So don't ink this where it meets in the middle. Just ink the edges so it looks like one continuous piece going across your layouts. You don't need to ink that middle seam. Okay, so I'm using Close to My Heart jade ink, but you know, there are tons of colors of green ink that will match. There's a lot of different shades of green in this whole kit. As you can see, there's even different shades of green here. So just about a lot of colors of green will match with that. So now that we've got this done, let's go ahead and kind of adhere it down, because this is the base of our layout. I'm not even worried about pictures yet. I'm just gonna work on adhering these things down. I'm gonna start with the left-hand side because it's the easiest for me. So I am going to adhere this about not even quite a whole inch from the top. And it's gonna just go right to the center, or right to the right side. So it's just gonna go flush to the side. Okay, and then you're gonna use the shorter of these 2 strips. One is a little bit shorter than the other. I'm gonna put the shorter one down next. And I'm just gonna a little bit overlap this paper. See, I'm overlapping it a little, so it's not too crunched towards the bottom of the page. Okay, and then I've got this little strip, and I'm gonna just put it about 1/2 inch from the bottom of the page. So there's a little bit less gutter down here than there is at the top. Okay, now is the tricky part, guys, because this is if you want your paper to match up and that to carry over, this is where it gets a tiny bit tricky. You're gonna wanna put both papers together. You're gonna wanna slide this one under there to line up without moving everything, to line up exactly how you want those. And it's really hard to get that perfect. And then you're just gonna trim off that little excess. I hope that made sense, what I was doing there from what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. I didn't know that this paper was not going to be able to have a pattern that lined up when I bought it, when I made the kit, but we will make it work. And I didn't know I was gonna need to line it up. Like, I don't plan the layouts ahead of time. I buy the supplies first, and then when I get them, then I get inspired when they're in my hand. And then we can put this page or this piece down You're gonna wanna line it up so it looks like it just runs from one page to the other too. So this is the base of our layout. Now, since this layout is so open, you can use a lot of different orientations of pictures and amount of pictures. If you just had a couple pictures, you could spread them out more. If you had a lot of pictures, push them together more. So the photos that I'm using on mine, I'm going to use the cardstock to represent my photos. I have one 4x6 photo, and then I have some 3x4 photos, one down here. We've got a 3x3 over here, and another 3x4. Okay, another 3x4 photo right here. And then on this next page, I have a 3x4 photo, a 4x4 photo, which you could also leave as a 4x6 if you wanted. And then I've got another 3x4 photo right there. And I did not mat my photos. If you think that your photos need to be matted, there is not paper in this kit to mat them except the leftover scraps that you have. So you could mat them on some of the scraps. You can also paint the edges if you wanted. If you wanted to make them pop a little more, you could paint the edges. I use acrylic paint and a little like makeup wedge type, the little makeup wedge blenders to paint the edges of my photos. So you could do that. And then, or you could just leave them like they are, which is what I did on my layout. And I'm just gonna get these all adhered real quick. So I will be right back when these are all adhered down. So I've got these all adhered down, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my 3x4 journal or cut apart card in there too. So that's just gonna slide right in here. Okay, now we've got a few other things. Let's see, these cut aparts right here are 5 different phrases, and I just cut the phrase Jolly Season off of the bottom because I wanted to use that one, but you can use any of the phrases that you want. And actually you could use any of these journaling cards right here that you want. You don't have to use the exact same one I use. And same thing for all the embellishments that I'm about to grab. You can, you know, pick. You don't need to use exactly the same ones that I do because there are so many amazing ones here. But I'm using the deer up here and the candy cane down here. And then I'm gonna use the Santa and the Merry and Bright and Awesome. So here's the Merry and Bright and Awesome. And then I know there's a little Santa in here. We have 2 different Santas. There's a darker complexion Santa and a lighter complexion Santa. So I think that's freaking amazing. You can pick which one you want to use. And let's see, here's, no, this is the Santa on the bicycle. I do not want to use him. Here he is, see? So you can pick which one works better for you. Okay, so I'm gonna use that guy. And I'll put these back in here. Okay, and then you're gonna have a branding strip from your paper, and it's going to be these little, oh my gosh, holly leaves. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off about 3 holly leaves off the end, just about 3. And I'm gonna use a little, maybe a little more, 3.5. And I'm gonna use those on this side, and I'm gonna use these on this side. And the ones right here, I'm gonna not adhere down quite yet because there's gonna be so much stuff here. I don't wanna cover them all up. So I'm gonna wait for a minute, but these I can go ahead and adhere on this side. So we'll just put this one right about there. Okay, and then we are going to use one of the little, oh, right here. One of the little appliques. I'm gonna use the Christmas hat. I'm not gonna use the birds on this layout. And then the main thing left here is going to be quite a bit of fussy cutting of the amazing Paige Evans paper. So I'm going to fussy cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna fussy cut 5 of the red flowers, and it's okay if I get this one that's like hanging off the edge a little. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll cut those 5. And then I'm gonna fussy cut 1, 2, 3, 4 of the white ones. And this one is okay also, that's cut off the side. So I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna kind of fussy cut from this area. 5 red ones and 4 white ones. And the cutoff 2 can count towards it. So I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna fussy cut those, and I will be right back. All right guys, I have my fussy cut pieces here. I might have told you to only cut 4 of these white ones, and one of them could be a partial one, but I meant 5, and one of them is a partial one. So I will show you where these partially cut ones go. And it doesn't matter. You don't need to have like the same ones in the same places that I'm putting them. Let's see, we'll get a whole one down here. This partially cut one can probably go up here and hide under him. So this is one of the partially cut ones. And the rest of them are whole ones, I believe. And then, let's see, another one goes there, another white one goes up here. Put that up there, another white one goes here, and this partially cut white one can go down here. Okay, and let me just kind of arrange these how I did it and show you where I put them, and then you'll be able to see that. So this partially cut guy just sticks right out from under this picture, and this full cut one can just overlap a little bit over the picture. Just a little bit on the corner. And then now we can adhere this. See, like I didn't want to cover that up too much, but we can adhere it right now. Make it go right about there. And then this candy cane, I'm gonna put up on foam tape, because it's gonna kind of go right over this little Santa hat. So we'll get some foam tape on there. And I'm gonna adhere the Santa hat right there, and this is gonna overlap it just about like that. And I'm gonna adhere the Santa hat with Eileen's tacky glue, because I think that works pretty well on fabrics and ribbons on your layouts. So we'll get this Santa hat right here, and then we'll let this overlap it. A little bit is sticking off the top. Okay. Whoa. Great. So that's that little embellishment cluster down here. And then we've got this one up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, let's see. I'm going to start with this one that was one of the ones that were cut off the corner. And I'm going to adhere that right here. And then I'm going to do the white poinsettia on top. This one's going to overlap right there. And then this other red one is going to kind of go underneath the deer's feet. And it can kind of overlap onto the picture too. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop this deer up on foam tape as well. Give this a little dimension. Normally I would put a little bit more foam tape on the back of this, but we're making a video here and I don't want it to take a long time, so I'll just put a little. Okay, now to this side, we've got this little Jolly Season. I'm gonna make this overlap a little bit onto this paper right here, and then I'm gonna put this partial white poinsettia sticking out from behind it. Then I'm gonna make this red one overlap it a little, and this white one comes there. So we'll put the white one adhered first. Okay, so that's there. And then this red one, I think I'm gonna twist it so that the berries are like that. And it just overlaps the sign a little and the white one. And then Santa is also going to be on foam tape. And again, I would normally use more than 2 little pieces on this guy. Okay, and then he's just gonna go right in there. depending on what's in your photo, you obviously don't want to overlap anything important in your photo, but this photo can move down more if you need it to. It doesn't have to be so high up there, and actually I am gonna move it down a little because that looks like it's overlapping and covering up quite a bit of the photo. So you can move it down just a tad. And then that lets a little more of the photo show through. Okay, and then over here we've got this white one up here. And again, you might want to not overlap it over your photo quite that much, depending on what's in your photo. You can adjust this, maybe move it down a little maybe if you need to. That flower. And then this Merry and Bright and Awesome, I'm again going to put that up on foam. And put that right over this part. Okay. And now I felt like I needed a little, oh, our title. So on my title, I used just the red foil letters because this page was, you know, it looked kind of busy to me to also add multicolor letters right now. So I just put red foil letters for my title, and this title I'm gonna call Merry Christmas. And after I finish my Merry Christmas title up there, I'm going to go ahead and put the year right here, also in the red foil. That's why I love these stickers, or this alphabet set, because it has letters and numbers. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 2023 down here, or whatever, you know, whatever year you've got going on in your pictures. Okay, so we've got our title. You can make, obviously there's a ton of stickers. You can make subtitles or add more to your title, make a longer title. You've got plenty to work with. The last thing that I did, because I felt like the edges of my layout kind of just were white and sparse, is I outlined with my little scribbly. I'm sure you've maybe seen me do this before. I just outline, and every so often I put a little scribble dot. It just kind of, adds a little. And since I'm doing the little scribblies, like, it doesn't matter how steady your hand is on the outline because it's just kind of organic. And it doesn't matter if it's a little uneven. And I try not to do them like a uniform width apart. I just do them uneven across the whole thing. And that wraps up this layout, guys. There's still shots here. There are still shots on the listing, which is in the description of this video. Even after this kit sells out, the pictures will still be on our website. On our YouTube channel, under our playlist for this kit, you can see different design team members that use this kit to make unique layouts. But let's see. I think that's about it. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Bye.